In today's video, I'm showing you how to use whatever leftover veg you've got in the back of your fridge to create 2 delicious and healthy meals. We're making a beautiful 1 tray roasted vegetable dal that basically cooks itself, so it's really easy, and a vibrant green pea and butter bean spread topped with some roasted vegetables and some chili and lemon pumpkin seeds. I created these recipes to be low effort, flexible, but packed full of nutrients and a great way to use up any leftover vegetables without sacrificing on flavor. So if you enjoy these simple, flavor-packed plant-based meals, be sure to stick around because I post them every week, so let's get cooking. This first recipe is one where you let the oven do most of the work while you can get on with other things. Okay, so I've got quite the selection of vegetables, starting with some cauliflower. Then I'm going in with some aubergine. Next up, just a small bit of courgette. Next, I've got some red pepper, some parsnip, and finally some sweet potato. It looks like a lot now, but it will shrink down as it roasts. And I've cut the more starchier vegetables a bit smaller, just to ensure they cook at the same time as the like courgette and the red pepper, which don't take as long to cook. So I've gone in with some olive oil. I'm going to season with salt and pepper. Good sprinkling. And I'm going to keep the seasoning fairly simple. I've got a few cumin seeds here, which I just want to use up. Also going to add a little smoked paprika, for that lovely roast fiery flavor. I've got a few mustard seeds as well, which I'm going to add in. And then you just want to get in there with your hands and give it all a really good massage so that every vegetable has the seasonings, the salt, the pepper, and the olive oil coated around it. You could use a spoon, but I don't think it has quite the same effect as using your hands in getting them really nice and coated. And that will go into the preheated oven for about 20-25 minutes until they're starting to get some nice color on them. Roasting the veg creates lots of delicious caramelized flavor, and then we make it into a comforting and creamy dal. Okay, these veggies are roasting nicely. It's been about 25-30 minutes. If I'm honest, I probably did put in a few too many, which has caused it to steam a little bit, but I'm okay with that. Another chefy tip would be to preheat the tray before adding in the veggies, but I was just trying to keep it nice and simple for a sort of weeknight dinner. So they're sort of half cooked, I'd say, and we're going to add in all the other ingredients now. So we're going in with some curry paste. You can use any curry paste that you like, whether it's korma, madras, tikka masala, whichever one is your favorite. We're of course going to add in the lentils, as this is a dal. These are red lentils and they've just been rinsed under cold water. We'll then go in with 1 can of chopped tomatoes, 1 can of coconut milk, a ½ teaspoon of aesfotida, or I believe it's also called hing. This actually helps with the digestion of lentils and beans. And I'm also going to add some additional turmeric. Little extra seasoning and umami flavor, a teaspoon of dark soy sauce. And then I'm going to wash out the can of chopped tomatoes with boiling water, or just hot water. Ooh, that is hot. Go in with an extra crack of black pepper, I think, although there probably is pepper in the curry paste. Better safe than sorry. And we're just going to simply mix it all together, get it really well mixed. You want the curry paste and just everything well distributed. And then that's going back into the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. I'll stir it halfway through, and if I think it needs a top up of water, I'll add in some boiling or hot water. I really love this recipe as you can use any vegetables that you've got on hand. You just need to adjust the size that you cut them to so they finish cooking at the same time. Okay, this has had 20 minutes and I'm going to give it a good mix. I can see that the lentils are starting to get nice and plump, soaking up all that delicious liquid. I think currently the liquid levels are looking good. I want a nice thick and creamy dal. Give it a quick taste to see how the lentils are getting on. Definitely coming along, but I think we'll need about 15 to 20 minutes now. Cooking everything in one dish means that the lentils will absorb all the flavor from those roasted vegetables and the spices, and it just becomes a really nice rounded dish. Okay, here we go. The vegetables have almost risen to the top and gotten even more caramelization on them, and the lentils are beautifully creamy. Such a great way to use up your roasted veggies. So you can serve this with some rice or some flatbreads. It's totally up to you. Or just keep it simple, 1 tray. And since we've added some sweet potato into the roast veggies. We're getting our carbohydrates there. And I'm just going to finish it with a little sprinkle of fresh coriander. And I'll just go for a small dollop of yogurt and some mango chutney because I absolutely love it. And there you go, that is the first way of using up some leftover veggies. It's easy and it's incredibly nourishing. Really lovely. That is just a really lovely creamy dal, all done in one tray. Those roasted vegetables have added a really nice depth of flavor and sweetness, and they're all perfectly cooked. Definitely give this a try, perfect for a weeknight dinner where you don't want to be standing over the stove. This next recipe is all about contrast. You've got the lovely roasted caramelized vegetables, then you've got the vibrant herb, pea and butter bean spread, and finally a little crunch from the chili and lemon pumpkin seeds. This dish feels light and summery, but is still really lovely and satisfying. Okay, so for this recipe we are also doing some lovely roast vegetables. So I've got a similar selection here: peppers, aubergine, cauliflower and some sweet potato. And I'm just going to roast them off in the air fryer. Good glug of olive oil, crack of black pepper. Whenever you season with salt, you want to season from a height so you get it evenly distributed over the veg. Same with any seasoning. And I will just add some dried herbs as well, just some oregano and some thyme. And get your hands in there and give it a good old mix. Get everything coated. And then while that roasts, we'll get on with the Herby butterbean spread. Roasting vegetables is honestly one of the easiest ways to build flavor. You let the oven do the work and you bring out the natural sweetness of the vegetables and you add additional texture. I'm just gonna cook these frozen peas in some boiling salted water. Oh, they're stuck. Just for a couple of minutes and then I'll get them into cold water to keep their freshness and bright green color. Drain these off. And just a quick rinse in cold water so they actually retain some of that vibrant green color. Not only will the green peas add a lovely vibrant green color to this spread alongside the herbs, they'll also add protein and fiber. Okay, so for the Herby bean and pea spread, I'm starting with some cannellini beans. We'll then go in with those green peas that we've cooked. I'm going to add a handful of spinach. This is going to make it even more green. For the herbs, I'm using basil and mint, which is going to give a beautiful flavor to this spread. And 1 clove of garlic, let's pop that in. The juice of half a lemon to start with, we may add more. A couple tablespoons of olive oil. If you're oil free, just leave this out. I didn't plan on adding this, but I reckon a bit of nutritional yeast might be nice. I think it's always a good idea to add some nutritional yeast. About 1 tablespoon. I want to keep it really nice and fresh and vibrant. Good pinch of salt. And some black pepper. And then we'll probably need to add some water to loosen it up, but we'll see how we get on. And we'll blend this until really nice and smooth. I'm just going to add a couple of ice cubes. This is going to help prevent the blender from overheating and discoloring the peas. So I've ended up adding some more nutritional yeast, some salt, and now I'm going to add some black pepper. There you go, you've got a lovely, vibrant green butterbean, pea and herb spread. The perfect base to some roasted vegetables. High protein and really nutrient dense. While the vegetables finish roasting, we're going to make the chili and lemon pumpkin seeds. I'll just add 2 or 3 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds to a dry pan. And I've got this over a medium heat. Toast these for 2 to 3 minutes until they start to go golden and pop a little bit. I'm gonna add a little pinch of salt now as well. And then once the pumpkin seeds start to brown, I'll turn down the heat and we'll add in some lemon zest. In fact, I'm gonna turn off the heat now because they are browning nicely. I'm also going to add in a little chili and some olive oil. And then just give that a toss. And there you go, you've got a really crunchy, zingy, and slightly spicy pumpkin seed topping. Okay, time to plate up. Start with a nice dollop Got the butter bean and green pea puree or spread. Maybe 2 dollops. And then I may have got slightly sidetracked while roasting these veggies, so they're a little bit browner than I was hoping for, but that's absolutely fine. Pile on a nice amount of these. I like them quite well roasted, so I'm not complaining. And then some of those delicious toasted pumpkin seeds. They are going to make all the difference to this dish. And then I did just keep back a few of these smaller mint and basil leaves. So I'm just going to sprinkle a few of them on. And this just shows you can make simple food look absolutely incredible. And there you have roasted vegetables on a Herby green pea and butter bean spread, and some chili and lemon zest toasted pumpkin seeds. Nutritious, vibrant, and this would be really delicious with some flatbread or just some grains like some quinoa. From comforting and cozy dull to a slightly fresher dish, let's give this a try. Yum. Really delicious. You really can't go wrong with roasting vegetables, and then on top of that creamy and herby spread, it is absolutely delicious. And the star of the show is those crunchy pumpkin seeds. They just really take this up to another level. This would be a really lovely spring or summer lunch, or even just a light dinner, and it comes together in no time at all. Enjoy. Thank you for watching. For another simple weeknight dinner, check out this video.